Welcome to the Broken Baker, where crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We sing it's time to go. Whistling clues, battering news, mixing stories, solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken with a spark in our eyes. In the Broken Baker's kitchen, the secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift the clues, defy the rules, with a spark in our eyes. The broken rise, broken rise. Welcome to the Broken Baker. Get ready. Let's go.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And welcome to this Sunday stream where I normally don't really stream, but and to a topic that I don't normally cover, Aidan Kearney. I have covered him some way back, and normally I'll be on with Dave when he talks about him, but because friend of the channel, well, I call him a friend, Mark Bederow has joined Aidan's defense team and filed a very interesting letter. I thought I would show you all what he had filed, because it's quite interesting. If this is correct now, Mello, who is a special prosecutor brought in to handle this case, I believe they reached out to 6 or 8 people before him to run the case against Aidan. He's a potential witness. Tully, the best detective after Bukaknik, is a potential witness. Proctor is a potential witness. If you remember back around Christmas, there was this, first they tried to get Aidan for witness intimidation. They tried to put a gag order on him. And they finally succeeded when he was sent to prison for 60 days for attacking his girlfriend, former girlfriend, the lady who threatened him with waking her kids up and do the Plan B pill and sit and have in his driveway. This goes back to Rule 101 for men. Never put it in crazy, even though crazy is fun. But since then, Aidan spent 60 days in prison. He's been out. He's been to court multiple times. The state never, ever keeps their deadlines. And now, I think like a month ago, Mark Bederow joined his defense team. And it's a very interesting letter that he sent them. But first of all, thank you, Matilda, for starting the day off with a super chat. Hello from Netherlands. And Phoenix for being a member for 6 months. Grumpy, go to bed. What happened with the room? Nothing. Nothing since yesterday. They'll just keep delaying for how is this okay for the CV to do it? Alley Cat, it's always okay when the state does it. because they will just make up new rules, new mistakes. And Mello just got sick, couldn't show up in court. I still love that soundbite where Mello was asked, "Where are the threats? They are on the internet, but you have to bring them to the courtroom." The internet? It just shows that they are not pitching with the A team. And because Mello got sick, they got another special prosecutor on it. The amount of money that the MSP have spent on, let's be honest, this is the Karen Read case. This only came about because Aidan has been a fervent supporter of the Karen Read case, so they had to go out there and try to get him. They had to try and shut him up. We, for those of you who have seen my rubber duck video from earlier today, now they're going out. Bukaknik is going out harassing people for leaving FKR ducks outside of D&E Pizza. They have the money to question people because they left the rubber duck outside. And Bukaknik sounded like he was almost crying because, oh, the horror, the shock and horror that those families had to endure, the poor McAlberts. So this is actually what they're doing. They are trying to drag this out. They are going to drag out the rubber duck case, the Canton 9 if they can. Everything will be drugged as long as they can to scare all of you who are near Canton and who is standing outside courtrooms, who are doing the standouts on bridges, flea markets, outside Morrissey's re-election campaign. It's only to scare you to see what happens if you support Karen Read, in my opinion. Sadly, he streams when I sleep. It's annoying. No, he has gotten in the hair of the police before, but this is clearly to keep him sidelined doing this this trial. This is all BS. It was all a setup to get Aidan in jail so he couldn't keep writing and putting the truth out there. Little did they know that Aidan had friends that would support him always. Exactly. And the only thing they are doing right now is feeding the Barbara Streisand effect. The more they hit Aidan, the more they hit, if they try to go after Tom, if they go after Will, if they go after Mike, any of these people, I will do videos on it. Good luck, Massachusetts State Police, to show up at my door and say, "Do you know you hurt people's feeling when you stream?" I don't care. It's not illegal in Denmark. Hey, Michelle. What is this letter? I sent you a link, Dave. If you want to join, we can. You can see it along with me. Hey, Gerda. Exactly. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Who you gonna call? Mark Bederow. Mark Bederow isn't just a smart lawyer. He's a smart person. I really like talking to him. And for what is it? They always call him a washed-up real estate lawyer. He's doing pretty good. Oh. How is the bigger courts, FBI, etc., allowing this to happen? One, the bigger courts doesn't care until it reaches the bigger courts. They tried to take it up to Supreme Court. They got knocked down, and then Lindsay got attacked the same night, so Aidan would lose his bond. Imagine how that worked. The FBI, everyone who will tell you the FBI, and I've said this since before the Karen Read case started, anyone who tell you the FBI will be here tomorrow to save the day, no. The FBI don't care. The FBI only got into the Sandra Birchmore. I believe she was the catalyst for all the stuff you've seen from the FBI. Because of Sandra Birchmore. Because they found out this police department is bad. And that's why they had those 3,600 pages in the Karen Read case they could give to the defense, which a lot of it still haven't been disclosed. But the FBI don't care. This is a state matter. This is just a stupid little podunk town. They don't care. You can find this in almost every district attorney's office. The FBI don't care. Anyone who will tell you the FBI will be sweeping the streets of Canton tomorrow, making sure no rubber ducks are there anymore and all the bad police officer goes away. No, they are selling you a pipe dream. You're lucky that they have done so much as they did already, because in the Sandra Birchmore case, we know at least 3 officers had an affair with her. Only 1 have been picked up. The FBI don't care. I think it's a disservice to a lot of viewers that some streamers are really going hard on the, well, just wait. It's selling you false hope, and you shouldn't be doing that, in my opinion. But hey, who am I? I'm just a stupid Danish grifter. It's only you. Good morning to you as well. We all need a turtle boy in our life. He is amazing. Well, I would rather not have a turtle boy in my life, because if Turtle Boy sees you, you might have done something really stupid. Because I like Aidan's all the things that he had found out, but he's not fun to be on the bad side of. That's for sure. You don't understand the whole rubber duck conspiracy. Back in July, I believe it was, someone left a rubber duck outside of D&E Pizza with FKR on the button, free Karen Read. And apparently that's almost as bad as a death threat. So the Canton police spends time to secure that stupid rubber duck. And now, because it's become a thing, I even have my little rubber duck watching over me. It's become a thing now. And now they have to go around interviewing people and see if they're going to take them to court for intimidating a witness by leaving this on a public bench on a public street, or if they'll just get them for littering. It's a stupid duck, but the more you'll fight this, the more it'll become a meme, the more it'll bite you in the behind. Put more effort in the rubber duckies than the investigation to John O'Keefe. It's disgusting. Exactly, Margaret. It's disgusting. I think it's only one of them that the FBI could twist and spell charges against. The others needs the local DA to do it, and we know how they feel about that. Well, every one of those are police officers. Every one of those have been, that's how they got the other one, have been paid with transactions that has gone across state lines. And have embezzled money by having intercourse with a young female on the clock. That's how they got it rolling. It's the good old Elliot Ness thing. We don't get you on the crime you did. We find a back door in, and then we'll get you. Well, isn't a lot of that what happened in New York? I hadn't followed along it. It might be political motivated more than justice related. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I should have warned you. I should have warned you. Yes, Patty B. Actually, this is serious. I made a video earlier today about Bukaki interviewing 2 people over leaving a little rubber duck outside of D&E Pizza. Yes, as we talked about Bederow and I too, when does incompetence become just neglect? I remember the Knapp Commission. They have been cracking down on cops for 50 years. With what result? Sadly, not with much, because in Canton, in Massachusetts, apparently they have a justice system where one hand washes the other, and it's only when it's so blatantly wrong that they will do anything. Remember what did happen to little Kevin Albert and his drunken... He lied in the investigation about how drunk he was on the day he lost his gun. And they believed he was just joking. Was it 6 days without pay? If I had done that in any bakery I ever worked in, I would have gotten a swift kick in the behind. But it doesn't happen if you're connected. Let's get to it and do it. It's a thing that people will drop a rubber duck at your door on a cruise ship. You don't see anyone there saying it's witness intimidation or littering. No, but Mary Murphy, everything in Camden is witness intimidation. Chris Albert standing inside yelling, "Loser, loser," is a clear sign that he is very intimidated. We haven't really said, but yeah, well, we just went through all the rubber duckies. And I didn't know it was in Jeeps. Oh, it was only 3 days. Sorry. Yeah. Shouldn't get too much. It was just a pew-pew. What does that do? But let's look at this from the law office of Mark A. Bederow. To Robert Cosgrove, Kenneth Mello, Special Assistant District Attorneys, because no one at the office could do it, so you are going to pay for extra attorneys. And this is pursuant to Commonwealth v. Aidan Kearney. This letter, and then there's a footnote, this letter is submitted under preliminary impoundment considering its reference to impounded Verizon records recently reviewed by defense counsel. Remember, there was that accident where they sent all of the Verizon records to Aidan that wasn't supposed to go to Aidan, but all of those Verizon records should probably go to Aidan under Brady, because everything that's evidence or potential evidence in a case should be given to the defense under Brady. And that's also the law that they are citing here. This letter serves as a specific request under Brady v. Maryland. That's the rule that the state must turn over any exculpatory evidence they might find or any potential exculpatory evidence. So they better turn it over because, well, it's not Judge Bev who runs this case. 373 U.S. 883 Giglio v. United States 405 U.S. 150 Graham v. District Attorney for Hampton District 493 Massachusetts 348, and Rule 14 of the Massachusetts Rule of Criminal Procedure for prompt disclosure of A, an unaltered and complete extraction report from the cellular phone Lindsay Gaetani provided to Massachusetts State Police MSP, Detective Lieutenant D.L. Brian Tolley, and Trooper Nicholas Garino on or about January 10th, 2024. So what they're asking for is the complete dump. Everything on the phone, not just what they cherry-picked for the phone. Kearney. I want to call him Kearney. I don't know why every time I do anything about Massachusetts, people are yelling at me because you spell things weird. When you give the defense the case and follow the law by accident. Yeah, actually, that's the most... Imagine if they hadn't dumped those Verizon records, they wouldn't know it's out there. B, any information in the possession, custody, or control of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and or the Special Assistant District Attorneys assigned to the Aidan Kearney matter, the Commonwealth, that tends to impair the credibility of any possible witnesses against Mr. Kearney, included but not limited to Juliana Nagel. We have heard that name before. Matthew McCabe, heard that name before. Jennifer McCabe, Jen. Chris Albert, Colin Albert, Elizabeth Proctor, Brian Albert, Miss Gattani, MSP Trooper Michael Proctor, and as a footnote, on July 22, 2024, less than 1 month after Trooper Proctor testified in Commonwealth v. Karen Read, the Commonwealth notified Read's counsel and several other attorneys with other matters that Trooper Proctor has been suspended without pay and that he was the subject of an MSP internal affairs investigation. They also disclosed an unofficial transcript of Trooper Proctor's testimony in the Read case. On August 13th, co-counsel Timothy Bradel sent Mr. Cosgrove an email seeking any appropriate Brady and Gigolo disclosures regarding Trooper Proctor. We have not received a response to that request. And I think that's the wrong way around because it's Bradel, yeah, who sent it to Mr. Cosgrove, where they wanted everything regarding Trooper Proctor. We have not received a response to that request. The Commonwealth recently notified Read's counsel that it was in possession of an extraction report from Trooper Proctor's MSP cellular phone and content from his MSP cloud account. The Commonwealth is also concerned. The Commonwealth is so concerned with Trooper Proctor's dreadful credibility that on September 9th, it announced he would not be called as a prosecution witness in Commonwealth v. Brian Walsh, even though he is the lead MSP investigator in a horrific case against a man accused of unaliving and then dismembering his wife. So, Trooper Proctor is also in this one. Kearney is in this one. Trooper Michael Proctor, Sergeant Yuri Bukaknik, DL, I don't know what DL stands for, Tully, and Trooper Garino. Including but not limited to evidence related to any investigations into any witnesses' conduct by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts, the FBI, any other federal agency, the Commonwealth, the Massachusetts Attorney General, and Massachusetts Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, or any other agency or governmental body. So, what they are doing now is saying, send us everything you have. And look at all those names all of a sudden appearing, because it's all the people who said, oh, Aidan harassed us, Aidan called us, Aidan did this, Aidan did that. That's fine. You opened it up. Now we want all your phones. And I'm not sure how they can, because of course they can't share it with other defense attorneys who might have some of the same witnesses, but this could probably help in another case as well, if they haven't gotten it either. It's another pressure point for the Karen Read defense to put on the MSP and the DA's office. Just leaving the U.S. Attorney Massachusetts coming from Alberts and McCabe. I don't know. I know nothing about that. No one, neither do no one else, because no one has been called as witnesses in any grand juries against them. Until anyone files a piece of paper like this one or an indictment, I wouldn't trust anything you hear about, oh, tomorrow or next week or just wait a week. People are selling a lot of snake oil about stuff like that. Look, here comes the consequence of your action chasing you right now. Yeah, Bukaki. Bukwaki. I should have come up with that one. Bradel had a lot to do with Mark joining. They can now divide and conquer. Yeah, and I think Bradel, I think he's a good, what would you... I think he's more of a straight-laced, where Mark is more of a bulldog. And you need a bulldog sometimes. If you need to fight these battles, if you need someone to pound the table and yell at the judge that we didn't get the evidence that we sought, You need a bulldog. Sometimes it's not enough to be nice and friendly. And Bradel seems like a guy who is very, very friendly and very good at cases where you have a good atmosphere. But here you're at war. We've seen that the way they have treated Aidan's case, they're at war. And in a war, you need a pit bull more than you need a I don't know, a hamster. Not that I'm saying Bradley is a hamster, but I think he's more of a let's figure this out, and then you need someone to come in. It's kind of the same with energy with Yannetti and AJ. Yannetti is more of a well, let's try and figure this out, and then AJ comes in and slaps you in the face. Sometimes you need that duality, the good cop, bad cop thing, where one is getting fired up and the other one is the one who say, well, we can figure this out. I'll keep it on a short leash, but let's talk. You need that one. I'm pretty sure that this what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because if they get disclosure on this, they find out there's more on Proctor's phone, there's more on Bukaki's phone, because we all know Bukaki didn't really get in trouble for looking for nudes. How that piece of dog excrement is still on the force, I don't understand. Because he has, if any, shown he's not worthy of carrying a badge and a gun. What's that got to do with spelling? And what spelling are you particular about, Gina? Oh, I missed something. Mark can also say certain things that Bradel can't, because Bradel's entire practice is here where Mark isn't. It's similar to Yannetti and Jackson. Yeah, it's the you bring in a ringer. For those of you who understand ice hockey, you have a goon. Hey, Star. Yeah, and I like that 1-2 punch. When I was in politics, if we had a really bad case, or we knew we would have to fight the other side in a case, my party member was the head of I was in the committee that had to do with kids and schools and stuff like that. And she said, okay, this is going to be bad, but I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Can you start yelling at some point? And then I can say, okay, Baker, you need to go out, smoke a cigarette, come back, just calm down. Because then she would always get what she wanted, because I was yelling and making everyone feel, oh, he's so unreasonable. And she could be reasonable and, okay, we'll take a bit of it away. It's a great tactic to use in negotiations. Yeah. Proctor is the top of the line of cops. Yes, and you need that. You need that 1-2 punch. Only if they take a shower outside of D&E Pizza. I know the police have very strong unions, and that's why you can't fire people, and they have to. But at some point, and maybe, well, Nick doesn't know American labor law, but he is a union lawyer. Could be interesting to talk to him about why, when I know they have to protect their members, but the way that the police union protected Proctor until the day where he was shown in court to be an absolutely dirtbag, they don't have to do it. Well, it's the best mediocre palm you can get in all of Camden. See all promises, rewards, or inducements made to any possible witness against Mr. Kearney. That's a funny little one. When I read that one, I was thinking, do they know something? We know Lindsay and Kate Peters are very good friends now. Lindsay is, I know someone called her the fake victim. I choose someone call her LG. I do that sometimes on Twitter, but it's an official record. I can say her name. Lindsay is the former girlfriend, friends with benefit, whatever her and Aidan's deal was. And did she maybe, because she have had her run-ins with the law too, Kate Peters have had her trouble, if any of those had any promises, because as Dave and I was talking about when it came out that night, Aidan was hauled in for the attack. That was a classic honey trap, as you see it in the old spy movies. You set up a girl to be the love interest of the guy you want to bring down. And it was clear as day. And as I said back then, Aidan, think with the big head instead of the small head, because the small head gets you into a lot of trouble. But what if they promised any of those, as much as a speeding ticket would go away if they helped them? That could be really fun if that comes in. A complete set of the grand jury minutes or any recorded statements of witnesses who testified before the grand juries, which indicted Mr. Kearney in December 23 and February 24, for which an indictment against him and Karen Reed was unsuccessfully sought in March of 24, and for which any other indictment was sought against Mr. Kearney and others related to his conduct. That could be really interesting to see the witnesses from those grand jury hearings as well. Well, I think he have learned his lesson. But I'm also a man, and we do really stupid stuff. That's actually what gets us into most of the problems. I also write to inform you that in the event Mr. Mello does not voluntarily recuse himself from the prosecution team in compliance with Rule 3-7 of the Massachusetts Rule of Professional Conduct and Commonwealth v. Patterson 432 Massachusetts 767, reversed on other grounds, Commonwealth v. Britt 465 Massachusetts 87, we will seek his immediate disqualification at the September 26, 2024 appearance because he is an essential defense trial witness. And I think that was what the lengthy sidebar was Thursday, when they Wednesday, Thursday, when they had the hearing. And I don't know if he recused himself. Why so many special prosecutors? If I was a Canton resident, I would be so mad because they're not good enough or they don't want to do it. So they have to hire people from the outside. Lally is an idiot. That's why they had to bring in Bulger's defense lawyer. Mello, because no one would touch this case. Hey, Jackie Seidel. This application is in addition to the grounds for recusal or disqualification stated in defense motion and memorandum for sanction filed on January 26, March 22, and August 28. Mr. Mello has not responded Mr. Mello has not responded to any of the prior defense motion, and he has not appeared at any of Mr. Kearney's court appearances for several months. So they have said multiple times that he must recuse himself because he's a witness in the case. And since then, he kind of just stopped coming because he got sick. But now he's back again. So it'll be interesting if he has to step down. The extraction report from Mrs. and I don't know if I'm butchering this, Giatani's cellular phone. In April 24, Mr. Mello provided the defense with an extraction report for Ms. Giatani's cellular phone. On July 11th, after the defense expressed concerns about the completeness of the report, Mr. Cosgrove assured the court and defense that whatever the communications are, they are all turned over. That's probably not correct. However, notwithstanding Ms. Giatani's acknowledgement that she communicated via text with Tully and Mr. Mello and then deleted the messages, the extraction report does not contain any text messages between and among Ms. Giatani, Tully, and Mello, except for one Ms. Giatani sent to Tully at 10:48 p.m. on December 23. Ken said to call you, but I can't now. Kearney is knocking on the bathroom door. I have to go back out. Please don't text or call, and tell Ken not to, because he wants to see my phone. I'm deleting our calls and texts right now. Don't respond until you hear from me. Remember December 23, where she invited him over to talk about she was being called as a witness in a grand jury. They met in a public meeting room or somewhere in her building, and then ended up in her apartment doing what grown-ups do. If she was set up or used by Tully and Mello to do that, it seems like they knew quite well that Aidan was going over there that night, that he was at the apartment. She is in contact with Tully. Why? Why does a girl have Tully's phone number, and why is she texting her? I could understand it because we know she claims that Aidan attacked her. Afterwards, after the attack, she has a direct line to the police, so they could come stop him. But why is she texting with Tully in the middle of a visit that she invited Aidan to? Does that stink a little bit of a setup? I don't know. I don't. It's going to be really interesting to dig into what, if any, promises have been made to Lindsay. Yes, she asked him and said, I have information about, they are calling me as a witness in the grand jury. What am I going to do? And he had been told, you can't see her, because she put an RO on him. And because Aidan probably didn't think it through, he went over there. But she had an RO. And what's she doing? She's saying, he's outside, don't do anything. With an RO on her, or on him, why isn't her first call to 911 saying he's breaking his RO? Is it because you needed to get more on him that those two could use against him to hurt him? I don't know, but this reads like a spy novel by John LeClaire somewhere. I'm just saying, this is this. If it quacks like a dog, it is most definitely a setup. It is most definitely a setup. Yes, because this is entrapment. Yeah, the good old RO two-step. Please come to my apartment, even though I claim I'm afraid of you. It gets worse. Yes, Edward. No spoilers. We're getting to it. I'll read it later. The evidence is so clear. Spy novel by idiot texting and telling on themselves. Yeah, if you're going to break the law, never text. Leave your phone at home. Nor does the extraction report provide to the defense, including a media file Leah Gaduso sent to Ms. Kearney during a text message. And Gaduso, or however it's pronounced, is a former police officer Aidan had made a report on earlier. During a text message exchange a few weeks prior to Mr. Kearney's arrest, this media file appears to have played a significant role in Ms. Kearney's effort to have Mr. Mello make her a witness against Mr. Kearney. On December 9th, Ms. Kearney reached out to Ms. Gaduso specifically because she knew Ms. Gaduso despised Mr. Kearney. And footnote, Ms. Ganduso was an MSP trooper who resigned in 2018 after an internal affairs investigation concluded that she concealed her prior involvement with a drug dealing operation. Mr. Kearney's reporting initially drew attention to this issue. So this is the lady she is now reaching out to. Ms. Kearney began communicating regularly with Catherine Peter, the woman also known as Kate Peters, some people call her Krusty Pants, who is one of the foremost leaders of the Smurf army, those in the blue shirts who goes around and yells at people supporting Karen Reed. Another individual she knew was an outspoken enemy of Mr. Kearney. On the evening on December 11, 2 weeks before Mr. Kearney's arrest for allegedly intimidating witness Kearney, Ms. Ganduso and Ms. Kearney engaged in the following text exchange. For brevity's purpose, I have included only the portions of the text exchange relevant to the demands included in this letter. Ms. Ganduso, I think by going to Mellow and becoming a part of this on a DL will inevitably help being another stepping stool into getting Kearney put away for a substantial period of time. Aidan's going to have a big reality check very soon and will be in jail before the summer. I really stand fast to that. Holy crap. I just thought of something. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Sends a media file to Miss Kearney. Miss Kearney, I'm going to call Mello tomorrow. Listen now. Oh my God. Did not even think of that. Yep. It took me all day for the light to come on. Pay your bills. Kearney, I can't believe me and Kate didn't either because we were literally talking about the bogus VI charges he filed on her and how he is considered a witness. Oh my God, the joy it would give me to play him at his own game. 100%. I still think he'll be stupid cocky enough to post about me even if he knows I'm a witness. But at least I know he will be charged if he does. Mello is our only hope right now. So this is 3 ladies conspiring to get Aidan put in prison. I don't know law. That's why I invited Dave on for this show, because I would really like to know if Aidan was imprisoned under false pretense with this text messaging between these 3 ladies talking about how they want Aidan sent to prison. Could that be a problem for them? That they are conspiring to have a guy sent to prison on what could be a bogus charge? Isn't it something they do in the YSL case and the Diddy case and all of these cases? They're talking really about the conspiring to do crime. Interesting. Didn't he spend Christmas in jail? Yes, he was arrested at Christmas because he was at her house on the 23rd. Sounds fishy to you? Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Conspiring and then self-switching, snitching. Well, let's just say they are not bringing in the high end of the IQ pool. This is also beyond evil and disgusting. All the lives lost and the MSP corruption is insane. What in the world is going on in this town? It's unbelievable. However, we see it's true. Yeah. Yeah, and they planned that because they were just waiting for all the gag orders not to be enforced, and they needed him to go over there, and they conspired to get him. The extraction report provided to the defense also is missing Ms. Peters' response to Ms. Kearney's message describing her interaction with Tully and Mr. Mello. This missing evidence is significant because Ms. Peters' prior messaging A messages demonstrates that she convinced Miss Kearney that she had direct access to Mr. Mello. She communicated directly with him about Miss Kearney and Mr. Kearney, and then placed Miss Kearney into direct contact with Mr. Mello weeks before December 23. Miss Peters' response to Miss Kearney's message inexplicably disappears from the extraction report on December 14th, after Miss Kearney texted her Miss Peters that she met with Tully and she wanted to discuss the meeting with her. So, again, never hope in Canton that you need any tech to provide your prove your innocence, because everything disappears. Olivia Lambo have a very interesting thread on Twitter today. You should all go read about the expert witness from the Karen Read case. I just wanted to shout that out because it's good. And there's a footnote, but what's that related to? I can't see where the footnote is. Oh, it's there. Okay. As substantially corroborated by the above described evidence, the defense alleges that Miss Kearney secretly sought to harm Mr. Kearney by misrepresenting herself as someone else online at the same time she pretended to support him during their romantic relationship. As the extraction report confirms, in October 23, Miss Kearney created a fake X account on her cell phone. On November 5th, posing as Jane, Miss Kearney offered to provide Miss Peters with some potentially good news about Mr. Kearney to assist Mr. Peters' defense of her own witness intimidation charges, in which Mr. Kearney was the witness. On November 7th, Jane tweeted that she hoped Mr. Kearney would go to jail in connection with his pending case. On November 9th, Jane tweeted support for Miss Peters, stated intent to discuss Mr. Kearney's pending criminal charges on her YouTube show. We're still waiting for Proctor to appear on that show. On November 12th, Jane publicly mused whether Mr. Kearney violated the witness intimidation statute and claimed that all of his crimes were on tape. Despite conclusive proof that Ms. Kearney created the Jane account on her cellular phone in October, a few months later, she deliberately misled the Midfield police, writing to an officer that Mr. Kearney believed that I was the owner of a Twitter account, Jane, so he refers to me as Jane in these tweets. Ms. Kearney similarly lied to Ms. Peters on December 11th, texting her that Mr. Kearney thinks I'm this Twitter account named Jane. Oh, so she lied to KP. That's not nice. I thought you were friends. So not only are the Smurfs attacking everyone else, they are also infighting. With friends like that, you don't need enemies. But we know Grande has lost his spot in the sunlight after Kate got lunch for the money, for the lunch money to everyone. So, yeah. The defense further alleges that she secretly formed an alliance with Miss Peters and Miss can do so, the purpose of which was to exploit Mr. Mello into making her a witness against Kearney to increase the likelihood that he would be arrested. Clearly, the missing media file and the text messages are relevant, discoverable, and almost certainly favorable to the defense. We are concerned that the MSP has intentionally deceived you by excluding discoverable and exculpatory evidence from the extraction report provided to the defense, which, if true, would constitute a flagrant Brady violation. On January 10th, Ms. Kearney provided her cellular phone to Tully and Garino. Yeah, well, then she didn't need to put it over because Garino couldn't find his ass with his two hands. For the purpose of having extracted the combination of the missing evidence described above and Trooper Garino's woeful incomplete phone extractions in the Karen Read case and the MSP's flawed investigation into the death of Sandra Birchmore, lead us to question the completeness of the extraction report the MSP provided to the Commonwealth of the closure of the defense. In the Reed case, Trooper Garina's extraction of Jennifer McCabe's cellular phone failed to reveal several deleted phone calls, text messages, and Google searches, which became key issues at trial. Reed's defense, however, was able to locate this data on their own. Even worse, according to an August 16, 2021 report prepared by Sergeant John Fanning of the MSP as part of the investigation into Miss Birchmore's death, Trooper Garino extracted former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell's work and personal phones. According to Sergeant Fanning, the MSP did not find any communication with Sandra Birchmore on Matthew's phone. Based upon the filings in the federal case accusing Mr. Farwell of unaliving Miss Birchmore, there were more than 32,000 electronic communications between Miss Birchmore and her alleged unaliver, many of which are incriminating and assuredly contributed to the U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts taking the virtually unprecedented step of prosecuting an unaliving case in federal court because the Commonwealth incorrectly declared Miss Birchmore's death as suicide. All of this is coming together in a great way. Lord Eddie Bederow is playing in the big leagues against the Keystone Cubs and Barney Fife. Bederow is the bomb. Yes. I can only say that I'm glad I had that failed real estate lawyer on my show because I knew he was a good head to have on the panel, but oh my God, seeing him work, whew, mommy is getting a little flustered. Daddy is getting a little flustered. Mark's good. I'm a concerned Massachusetts resident, and the corruption has got to stop. Where and what is Governor Haley and Just Levy doing about it? Well, Just Levy is indicting in the Birchmore trial. That's more than your governor is doing. Your governor came out and said it wasn't nice to call Karen Reed nasty names. That's all she have said I have seen. Where's her... I thought isn't she a left-wing feminist? Why isn't she very troubled with the clear misogyny going on in her police department? Why isn't she outraged of the I don't know if we can say the G word, rooming problem they had? Why is she letting everything slide? I don't know. I don't do American politics. But I just know you're the only ones who can change it if you live in Massachusetts. Thank you, Jackie. Levy has his finger on the pulse. Haley is a useless tool. I think that's a very astute observation. I saw she was doing a TikTok dance yesterday and riding on a horse. She's really, really doing much. I don't know. There's another G word. Yes. Goodies. I'm sad to say I don't know any state better than, of course I know Florida because they have the sunshine law, so we see a lot of crime in Florida when I cover crimes. But I would say jumping on the Karen Reed wagon last March, April, whenever I started covering the hearings, till today, having Aidan on, having talked to Tom, Mark, I'm surprised this can go on. I'm surprised that that's not seeing Rita at every town hall, seeing all the people outside of the court. I'm surprised this can just go on and nothing changes. Morrissey is going to be reelected. $250,000. Was that what he raised? his own workers paying to his political campaign. How is that not illegal? I don't understand that, because to me that seems very suspect, that you can pay your own boss. How do you stop corruption? If I contributed $20,000 to my boss, every decision he made on my promoting me or giving me overtime would be very suspect, wouldn't it? But it's okay. That's one of the things we don't understand about American politics. All the money people are allowed to put into politicians. The time Bederow done with them properties will be going up for sale. They won't be able to move fast enough from the feds. Again, don't bank on the feds. The feds won't come in. Trust Bederow more than you trust any fed. Yes, but he's not afraid of anything. That's why he does it. And that's what I'm wondering. How can they just let stuff like this slide? Because he's the guy who should be investigating them, and they just say, "Oh, there's nothing there." Ba-da-ba-boom. Yeah, I know 2 people are running against him, but he's been there for 25 years. Unless the grassroots gets out there and really spreads what's going on, it'll just keep, everything will stay the same. Accordingly, consistent with your obligation to learn about the possible existence of exculpatory and discoverable evidence in your possession, see Commonwealth v. Macmillan, 98 Massachusetts, 409-414. We request that you interview Trooper Garino and Tully and A. Inform the defense whether they unintentionally or intentionally withheld information that should have been included in the extraction report, and if so, promptly disclose to the defense a complete, accurate, and thorough extraction report for Ms. Gattiani's cellular phone, and B. Make any other proper disclosure that may be required as a result of your findings with the respect of Tully's and Garino's handling and extraction of Gattani's cellular phone. Evidence related to credibility of MSP witnesses. The Commonwealth's theory is that Ms. Kearney intimidated Trooper Proctor based upon comments he made on his YouTube show. They allege that Ms. Kearney intimidated Sergeant Bukakny by shouting his opinion at Sergeant Bukakny that Trooper Proctor was corrupt and a effing joke, and that Bukakny was a loser. See Commonwealth's revised Bill of Particulars dated August 1st, page 6-9. Tully is the lead investigator in this case. As such, their credibility is in issue, and the defense is entitled to any information in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, or control that tends to impeach their credibility. Remarkably, all 3 are presently under internal affairs investigation. Yeah, funny how that happened. But Bailey, the feds isn't in this case. I will always say this, even though I know I'm probably the one of the few who says this. Don't believe those who tell you the feds are coming tomorrow. The feds might have everything. They might even have evidence that Bev is doing something. They won't swing in and do anything in a case like this unless something extraordinary happens. All the people who will tell you tomorrow, just wait till tomorrow, who have been saying that for 6 months, it's more wishful thinking than you probably should be doing at this point. Remember everyone who said to you, Karen Reed will never see the inside of a courtroom. The feds will save her. I sat there for 8 weeks, every day seeing Karen Reed in a courtroom. That also goes to the credibility of those who told you she will never be there. So if they keep saying, just wait, my sources say, you might need to think, could they be fed information that isn't true? I'm just saying. This is big cases. There's a big group of people covering it. You always want to be the first. You always want to have the breaking story. Sometimes it goes a little fast and you don't vet all your sources. As noted, Supra, that's a Toyota. The Commonwealth has acknowledged the existence of Trooper Proctor's substantial credibility problems in Brady letters sent to numerous attorneys in July and September 24. The Commonwealth has further acknowledged that's a spelling mistake again, that it possesses extraction report for his cellular phones and data from his cloud account, including the despicable and misogynistic text messages introduced at the Reed trial. Our demand includes a transcript from Trooper Proctor's testimony against Ms. Reed, copies of his text messages admitted into evidence at the Reed trial, and any other text messages which tend to impair his credibility in any matter in which he was involved. See Graham. Prosecution must disclose exculpatory evidence in any criminal case in which the officers prepared a report or may serve as a witness. Emphasize is original. With respect to Trooper Bukakny, we demand any evidence, documentation, or information in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, or control that tends to suggest he perjured himself at the Reed trial. Specifically, Sergeant Bukakny swore on direct examination that video evidence from a garage at the Canton Police Department was a fair and accurate depiction of how a SUV appeared in the garage when Sergeant Bukakny assuredly knew that the video in fact was a mirrored or inverted depiction which flipped the SUV in the video and thus concealed critical evidence from the jury, including the true location and conditions of the rear tail light of the SUV and Trooper Proctor's presence directly next to the right rear tail light. This demand include any notes, documentation, or other evidence demonstrating that Sergeant Bukakny discussed the garage video with other members of MSP, the Canton Police Department, the Commonwealth, or anyone else associated with the Reed's prosecution team. He's a smart cookie. So now they're using the Karen Reed case to say none of your witnesses are credible because they lied on the stand in the Karen Reed case. I like Mark. He's quite smart. Halfway there, the feds don't care. Exactly. Now we're more than halfway. Yes, Bederow is pro hoc vice from this case. He's practicing in New York. He isn't a Massachusetts lawyer, but he's doing good. I like what I'm reading. Yes, he will be paid. Yes. He's just helping out, and it's like AJ. I believe AJ isn't barred in Massachusetts either, but they can still do it if they're sworn in as pro hoc vice. I think it is. Jemima, you better correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, and he is now intertwining everything. So if this judge finds them uncredible, then the Reed defense can file motions the other way. This is really, really smart because now the Karen Reed case is coming back to bite them in the behind in the Aidan case. And what they figure out in this case can come back and bite them if there will ever be a Karen Reed 2 case. I still don't believe there will. So Carino have now hidden data in Karen's case, Sandra Birchmore, and now Turtle Boys. That's all it takes to get promoted to the DA's office as a detective, no less. Yes, he has. And public works is the only job you can have where you can only fail upwards. In addition to any information that tends to discredit any prosecution witness, we specifically demand disclosure of any and all materials, documents, and information in the Commonwealth's possession, custody, and control that tends to adversely impact the credibility of Trooper Proctor, Sergeant Bukaknik, Tully, Garino, including but not limited to any evidence related to the MSP internal affairs investigation or any other agency's investigation. So they can claim that they want to see the Fed's investigation. I don't know if the Feds will give it to them, or maybe the Justice Department's investigation. Of these witnesses, the nature of the allegations and or specifications against them, any reports or transcripts of statements made by them or others about the allegations, and the results of any disciplinary hearings or proceedings. See Graham 493 Massachusetts at 365-62 if you want to go and check it. Commonwealth v. Cruz 481 Massachusetts 1021 1022. Evidence of promises, rewards, and inducements. And this is the part I really look forward to see if there's anything. Sadly, there's not that much in it. But you could probably read between the lines in this small section. We demand disclosure of any promises, rewards, or inducements to any potential witnesses of which the Commonwealth is aware, including but not limited to financial consideration, travel reimbursement, witness fees, car service, childcare, social services, or assistant leniency in any criminal investigation or prosecution. And I'm thinking these last three ones could be something that might have been because we know the ladies involved in this case, and all of these things could be something they need. Dizzy Grenade, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Grand jury testimony and statements of witnesses. You have previously informed counsel that the defense have been provided with relevant grand jury testimony. To the extent that we have not been provided with all grand jury testimony and statements of testifying witnesses, demand is made for a complete set of grand jury minutes and the statements of any witness who testified before the grand juries which returned indictment against Ms. Kearney in December 23 and February 24, respectively. Demand is also made with respect to the grand jury proceeding which sought Ms. Kearney's and Ms. Reed's indictment for witness intimidation, but which resulted in a no true bill against Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed on or about March 27, 2024, and any other grand jury proceedings commenced against Mr. Kearney and all others related to him or his defense for witness intimidation or related charges. I didn't even know they tried to get a special jury to get him and Karen Reed for witness intimidation. How stupid are they? It's such a... The more you hear about this stupid police department, it's what the F is going on? What the F is going on? Witness intimidation. Because you can love or you can hate Aidan Kearney's journalism. I see him as a shock job, kind of like a Howard Stern back when he still had a bit of teeth. He's a shock jock. It's just aggressive journalism, and they want to, because he hit them so many times because they have so much dirt he can dig up. They want to get him with the law for something that should be clearly protected. As a journalist, this is what they do in banana republics. They go after the journalists who show that the police or the politicians are corrupt. That's not what you should do in a Western democracy like America. The DA still hasn't made any charges in the Sandra case. Just plainly stated the DA could bring more charges, and he hasn't. No. Where are the charges against the two others? Where are the charges against the resource officer from the school? They are. I can't call them corrupt because I don't know that, but they are either absolutely inept at their work or they are blind, willfully blind. Yes, it's right around when Karen's trial started as a way to keep Turtle Boy out of the courtroom because there would be co-defendants there. Didn't they use? That's why they called Lindsay to court when they couldn't keep him out on the other one. So she all of a sudden just showed up and sat there like, "Oh, I'm Mother Teresa." Imagine being so bad at pulling cell data you are known by people all over the world as the guy who can't find a text message. That's another thing. I'm sitting here. The more I let's just do around the world. Let's start with Aussie Insider. She's on the opposite side of the world from me. I'm halfway from her to you. We have people in chat right now: South Africa, Holland, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, America, England, Scotland. Everyone knows you are a joke of a police department. And you just soldier on because who cares? I'm the small channel. I'm the little guy in the Karen Reed case. I have 500 people watching me on a Sunday morning. Emily D. Baker will probably go through this. There'll be a lot more eyes on her than there is on me. Everyone, please like and subscribe. Melanie Little will go through this. Andrea Burchard, Marungle of the Bailey. Don't they understand the internet exists? Don't they understand we are hundreds of grifters sitting out here with our small channels? Mike had it on last night. Aidan had it on. When I got up this morning, Aidan had just ended. The Young Turks were going. The Clara was going. I'm doing it now. I'll bet you there'll be 5 other streams before I get out of bed tomorrow. Only about this. And they still think it's business as usual. No one cares. It's just Canton. We are watching from all over the world how inept you are at your job. I talked to a judge. I was invited on another panel, I believe it was last Sunday, where I talked to a judge who knows about who actually feeds the YouTube because he wants people to see it. He knows we are watching. He knows there's a lot of people out there. I had a member of the chat in a courtroom last week talking to the lead detective who was a little bit surprised about we are watching trials online. Go to Court TV and Law and Crime. They have double-digit viewers every single day. And the MSP thinks, we can play along as we always could. Grifter Nation. And I want to be King Grifter. In his defense, Mello may not understand the interwebs exist. Yeah, he didn't understand that he had to bring it into court. Yeah, that's again, the MSP are aligning with Kate Peters and LG. Have you followed any of those people on Twitter? I know the police know them really well, but couldn't you get someone a little better to do your dirty work? I still remember when those two wonderful ladies were on court TV. Julie, you did good that day. You really hit a home run. Getting those two ladies into your room, sitting there talking about, oh, we're fighting for John O'Keefe. Well, Kate Peters looked like she washed her hair that week, but that's more than normally. Next court dates will be December 2nd and January 10th. And in the Can Read case, it'll be the 14th of January and the 27th of January. Hey Lene, velkommen til. Love the new... I just pulled the camera in because I was doing something stupid earlier today. But thank you. Now for the disqualification of Special ADA Mello. Information extracted from Ms. Gattani's cell phone confirms that approximately 2 weeks prior to December 23rd, Mr. Mello was in direct communication with Ms. Gattani, Ms. Peters, and Tully, presumably for the purpose of discussing Mr. Kearney's eventual arrest for the alleged witness intimidation of Ms. Gattani. On December 11, Ms. Gattani, in a message to Mrs. Genduso, described Mr. Mello as our only hope now. Mr. Mello's testimony regarding his conversation with Ms. Gattani and or others acting on her behalf. Let's see. Subnote. On December 11, Ms. Peters texted Ms. Gattani that she had Mello's personal cell phone number. She would call Mello to feel out the situation, see if there was anything that can be done. She received information from several sources, including the DA and MSP. She spoke to Mr. Mello off the record about Ms. Gattani with some specifics. Oh, sorry, I can't. I need my glasses. And Mr. Mello assured her he would have Mr. Kearney arrested if he threatened or blackmailed you. That's not good. So now you're a witness in your own case against Kearney. You don't seem that smart. And the footnote was here. Mr. Mello's testimony regarding his conversation with Ms. Gattani and or others acting on her behalf is significant to Mr. Kearney's defense that Ms. Gattani and others used Mr. Mello to orchestrate Ms. Kearney's arrest well before December 23rd. The curious timeline of events leading to Mr. Kearney's arrest required Mr. Mello's testimony at trial. Only Mr. Mello can explain why he arranged to make Ms. Gattani a witness against Ms. Kearney by having Tully serve her with a grand jury summons on December 22nd, 1 day before Mr. Kearney allegedly committed witness intimidation against Ms. Gattani. Not surprisingly, shortly after she received the summons, Ms. Gattani sent a copy to Mr. Kearney, after which, in a series of text messages that day and the next, she urged him to come over to her apartment. Ms. Gattani stated under oath on January 8 that DL Tully advised her that she could show the summons to Mr. Kearney. So Tully is also a witness in his own case against Kearney. Against Ms. Gattani, and 2 days after Mr. Mello completed a grand jury investigation into alleged witness intimidation unrelated to Ms. Gattani. So there was no grand jury going on, and she got a summons. Isn't that lying? Are they allowed to do that? That seems a little bit odd. I'll look into it, Jody. It was worse than wandering into the yellow attic when I first heard about the Reed case. My God, that man is a tool. Hey, that man is a brave stripper. I wish I had the courage that cottage cheese has to show my moves on camera. I know he isn't doing the numbers he used to do when people were coming in, finding out, oh, Karen Reed case, and they saw his channel and thought, oh, let's look at that. And then they found out he's an absolute idiot. So now he has taken it into stripping. Everyone can fall on a hard time, but Plevin, your moves saved my day that day. I was a little depressed, but seeing you struggle with a t-shirt, I know it's hard. There's at least 4 holes in a t-shirt. Saved my life. You are better than antidepressants when you're sitting there struggling and showing moves on camera. Remember the next time, tassel up, buddy. We're not allowed to show nips. What I can't figure out is why Tully handled this over. Seems a strange place for an incompetence in a case full of corruption. Have you met MSP police officers? They are incompetent on every level. I love that they filed, oh, please give it back to us. No. I so wish you wouldn't say her name out loud. I'm worried about turning into Beetlejuice moment. Well, I'm probably going to get a restraining order against her or something. Or she's going to file a restraining order against me. She's kind of weird. We all know Lindsay was in cahoots with Jen McCabe too. Where are her text messages and phone calls? Jen paid for Lindsay's lawyer on the day Turtle Boy was jailed. She also babysat her kids. I haven't seen any of that, so I can't testify to that. But that would probably be why Jennifer McCabe is mentioned, that they need the phone extraction for that as well. Plevin needs a man-seer. Hey, Whiskey. If I spew coffee on my tablet baker, you and I are gonna laugh about it. Well, I'll hire Grant to come over and clean it up. He's not that expensive. It's all good. It's all good. Boom, 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 boom. It's all a setup. And the night of when Dave and I was covering it, we said, this is a honey trap. And now we can read it. It is a honey trap. Even my mic are hot. Man, see. Hey, Brett. The Massa post with coffin dangling and Pleving shirtless photo bombing the TB dinner. Pure gold. Yeah, it's... How is it? And again, I am the worst of everyone who believes that Karen Reed is innocent. I know that. I'm the worst streamer of all of us. But how come we have those people we have on the Free Karen Reed movement or covering it and can clearly see that Karen is innocent? Again, I'll mention a few and I will forget way more. Runkle of the Bailey, Brandy Churchwell, Melanie Little, EDB, Burkhardt, Young Jerks, The Glarer, Turtle Boy. You have those people on one side, and on the Karen Reed is absolutely guilty. You have Plevin, Grande, and the Food Stamp 6, or how many they are. If you came into a room and you were looking into the room and you saw the griftathon over here, all of us grifters, or you saw the very concerned Smurf army on the other side, which one of those would you pick up a beer and go join? If you join the Smurf army, you'll probably get an STD, but I'm just saying. But wouldn't you go? And again, I know I'm the worst of us, but I have some amazing co-workers, colleagues, whatever you'll call it on YouTube. I'm lucky enough to stream with sometimes. Any one of those I have streamed with or I have watched, I would drink a beer with. I wouldn't even get in the same restaurant as some of the people on the other side. They seem like they smell. And they seem utterly unintelligent. It's even their supporters, the only thing they can come in and say, you're fat. I know. I have a mirror. It's right out here. I can look into it, and you don't have to tell me. They don't have anything like other than, well, she's guilty. Why? You just say the same as Turtle Boy. Shut the F up. Hey, Blablazy. Yeah, lawyer, you know. I need to find some time and talk. I want to talk to those Las Vegas cops. They seem cool. Of course, the cartel killer herself, Caffey Daffy. Well, she would be drinking all the beer. No, I can't say that. That was a joke. Nancy Grace. Well, Nancy Grace is a... Anyone watching Nancy Grace for good court entertainment, that's like watching me for exercise and diet advice. Food stamp 5. Cheer squad, yeah. Food stamp 5. Some people are safe to eat a meal of food with, other people not so much. Yeah, some of them seems like they could give you diseases. Sadly, I will never go to Florida or Massachusetts because I cover too many cases. Brian, LTL, yeah, there's so many good guys out there and girls. But again, why just look at the talent on either side? And I am absolutely talentless, but I know a lot of talented people on this. Mark Bederow started hanging out with people on this side. That's how he got into the Aidan case. I wouldn't even hire Plevin to start a fire. I don't think he has the brain capacity to use a lighter. Sorry, Jen McCabe only paid the lawyer for the day while she babysat for her to go to court. LG was useful to keep Turtle Boy out of court when he got out to try and jail him again. Yeah. No, because I've said so many bad things about Massachusetts, I'll be arrested there too. I haven't seen a ruling on it yet. No, but there's luckily you can just switch around. There's so many other good streamers. Well, that's a lot. We all have our different approaches. Some don't like me because I try to be funny. That's fine. They can go watch someone else. Miss Kearney did not testify before a grand jury until February 1st. Her testimony resulted in an indictment related only to events from December 23, i.e., after she received a grand jury summons. The obvious questions relevant to Mr. Kearney's defense, which only Mr. Mello can answer, remain: A. Why was Ms. Kearney served a summons in connection with a concluded grand jury presentation? And B. Why did she testify more than 1 month later about events that had not even occurred when she was served the summons? That's just a coincidence, a lucky coincidence. Mr. Mello's testimony is also required because he's a direct witness to the critical events of December 23. At 12:19 p.m., Ms. Kearney texted Mr. Kearney that she loved him and that she was wrong to speak to Miss Peters. Boy, when you get those phone calls at night, don't answer them. It's always either 3 weeks later, you're going to be a dad, or you should see your doctor. She then texted Mr. Kearney that we should save everything else for in person. At 4:12 p.m., Ms. Kearney called Ms. Peters and spoke with her for approximately 6 minutes. At 4:56 p.m. and 4:59 p.m., just hours before Mr. Kearney allegedly committed crimes against Ms. Kearney, Mr. Mello spoke to her. Interesting. Yeah, Mello has a crystal ball. That's how it happened. Me trying to be funny is funny. Well, for the wrong reasons, but thank you. Nancy Grace was a lawyer but was disbarred for witness tampering. I see Nancy Grace as being the old school presenter, the TV presenter. It's just not my type. I agree. During the actual incident, rather than call 911 or the local police for help at 10:25, Miss Kearney instead called Mr. Mello, who rather than call 911 himself, patched in Tully as Mr. Kearney allegedly continued to intimidate Miss Kearney. Later, again during the incident, Miss Kearney called Mr. Mello at 1:16 a.m. at 3:35 a.m. In other words, Mr. Mello indisputably is a witness to alleged criminal conduct that led. We anticipate that Mr. Mello and Tully will flatly contradict Ms. Kearney's sworn claim at trial. I can't see where that footnote is from. I don't know. Gillette's conduct that led to him in his capacity as a special prosecutor to authorize Ms. Kearney's arrest and prosecution. Finally, because Ms. Kearney deleted her messages with Mr. Mello and the is Mello, is he married? I'm pretty sure my ex-wife would be very, very unhappy if I, as a, I don't know how old he is, 60 to 100-year-old man, got, I don't know how old she is, 30, 50-year-old woman calling me at 1:15 at 3:35 in the morning. Why is she calling a special prosecutor in the middle of the night? Something is smelling fishy, and I'm not just saying it's Kate Peters. That's really weird. Yes, this is when I read this, when my Snoops got it to me today, I had to do a stream because it's fire. Yeah, well, he played bad for the Knicks, so it doesn't matter that he's thought of in the same way as this guy. 37 at the time. Well, kind of like Kim. She looked good. She looks good in angles and in the right makeup. Cheer that. Yes, you missed it. We have been offline for a long time. There's a picture of Mello in a trophy husband T-shirt. If he's a trophy husband, I at least should be a participation award. Tammy Lee, thank you for rushing home. Stay safe. Something stinks, and it's not in Denmark or in the trousers of Kate Peters. Every cop who has been investigated in relation to this case has been let off without any real punishment. Proctor is the only one who got fired. Yes. That's, again, that just shows that there's a bad culture in that DA's office. In Karen Peters' assault case on Aidan, Mello would not release Turtonboy's phone for the evidence, so she got away with it, even though Mello was court ordered to hand it over. That shouldn't be allowed. That's a judge that didn't do his job. Then he should put sanction on him. Then finally, because Ms. Kearney deleted her messages with Mr. Mello and the extraction report provided to the defense does not include this discoverable and material evidence, the defense intends to question Mr. Mello about the content and whereabouts of this evidence on his devices. To the extent the Commonwealth claims that is unable to provide relevant messages from Ms. Kearney's phone, they are obligated to provide the above described evidence from devices belonging to Mello, Tully, and Ms. Peters. See Massachusetts R. Crime P14A1A237. In these circumstances, Mr. Mello cannot at the same time prosecute Mr. Kearney and be a material fact witness. See Patterson 432, Massachusetts at 777 and 78. Actual conflict exists when trial counsel is the only witness who may impede statement of a different witness. Commonwealth v. Scanlon 493, Massachusetts 1020, 1024, 1025. Massachusetts R. Prof. C. 3-7, a lawyer shall not act as advocate where a lawyer is likely to be a necessary witness. Please feel free to contact us if you wish to discuss any of these issues in advance of the September 26th, 2024 appearance. So that is what they had filed before the meeting this week. We haven't had a ruling as far as I know. But to me, it shows that adding Bederow to the defense is a good idea. It's you're getting that bulldog on your team. You're getting you're getting someone to put in the trenches, a guy who is more in your face. So again, it's easy written. It's hard to say, well, we don't know what you're talking about. I've seen some motions where you're thinking, especially the Sarah Boone case, where you're thinking, what? But it's easy to understand what he's looking for. It's easy to understand that what they claim, again, it's the defense claim, so we'll have to see what the Commonwealth responds to this. But and it's hard to deny that Mello, at least, and Tully are witnesses in this case, so they can't be prosecuting a case, because you can't be a special prosecutor and be a witness in your own case. It's so they set it up. We knew that already back in December. It was a honeypot, and now we know what's on the messages from her. She had the RO on Aidan, and then she gets a magic summons to a grand jury that has concluded, so she can testify in a grand jury 2 months later about stuff that hasn't happened at the time she gets summons to the old one. At what point is it too much of a coincidence to be believable? It's just stupid. I have to say that. It makes me wonder if the doggies got in there. It doesn't go unnoticed. Your English as a second language is better than Trooper Paul's and Colin Albert's. I know that's a low bar. Well, I sometimes change shirts 2 times a day and threaten people when I listen to Adele too, because I learned from Colin. Mello suffers from diabetes. Yeah. Probably that's why he had to be on oxygen. The decision to go after Turtle Boy has been the mistake that turned all eyes on Canton. Epic mistake. No, Turtle Boy had people looking at Canton before that. I didn't. Sorry, reading for that long takes to strain out you. I didn't know Turtle Boy's name until I watched the first hearing we covered, because people were saying, "Oh, Turtle Boy talked about this," and we were like, "Who?" And then some people in chat said, "Well, Turtle Boy is a bad one. Turtle Boy is a good one." And then I found out who Turtle Boy was and all of the indictments against him and stuff like that. And then that's back when I had him on the show. So that's the Carrie case kind of got, but they made the Barbara Streisand effect by charging Turtle Boy. We haven't found a trial for next week, no, because Sarah Boone has a hearing. No, yeah, Sarah's supposed to have a hearing on Tuesday, I believe, and then we are getting ready for 2.5 weeks of Sarah Boone. I think it's more that Bederow and Jackson don't live in Massachusetts. It's safer for them to push harder. Yes, but that's why you bring in an outside ringer. You need them to come in and suck someone in the mouth, because Bradel and Yannetti will still have to work in Massachusetts. So they'll have their attack dogs go up, punch someone in the face, and say, "Hey, calm down now. Let's figure it out." That's why you hire an attack dog. No, I am not going back and reading another hour and 40 minutes of text. But I can get Jess to send it to you so you can read it. It's a good letter. He points out the dirty tricks they'll try to do before they do it. Brilliant. You just hope that the judge will see it the same way, that the judge will read it, because it's up to the judge. But again, so much bad stuff in this case. The bottom line is the corruption and its context will stop at nothing to make the people exposing their truth go away. And the only reason to target him, because he has the biggest reach. Yes. And the problem is they are too stupid. They think by taking Turtle Boy out, they'll take me out, they'll take Dave out, they'll take Valhalla out, they'll take everyone out, because we can't think ourselves. We are all just reiterating what Aidan is saying. They actually believe that. They actually think if Aidan goes away, we go away. But that's the Streisand effect. We will just cover it twice as much. I don't normally cover Aidan stuff, because I was on the Karen Reed stuff. I wasn't really on Turtle Boy stuff. To me, that was more of a local thing. Now with reading this, and because I'm sitting on Twitter all day and calling all the Smurfs idiots, it was interesting. And I know Bederow, and again, the more they are gonna do all of this shenanigans. I made a stupid video about rubber ducks today, because they do so many stupid things in the hope that everything will go away. It just shows them they don't understand the internet. They don't understand we're living in 2024. They think it's the good old days. They think CNN, they think Fox News. Can we just get that pesky reporter off? Everything will die down. No. Every time you have anything going on, you have 5, 10, 15 YouTubers streaming at some point in the day about this. You have tens of thousands of people watching anything that has anything to do with this now, because everyone is enraged. Sandra Birchmore case, Karen Reed case, Aidan Kearney case, Kearney. I don't understand why you don't write it the way you say it. But they still live in a world where they think if I can just get that reporter down at the local newspaper to shut up, this case will go away. But you're just shining a bigger and bigger and bigger and brighter spotlight at yourself. And that's why I don't get how you can be this stupid and this inept and still in 2024 don't get that's how the world is. I am your favorite grifter. I know. And I know I don't go away. Well, I haven't finished. I need to put some lights up, but they don't arrive till Thursday. And then I'll work on it. Don't stop the recipes. No point trying to silence Turtle Boy. Now the S is already out of the horse. And the thing is, you have local guys there too, and he if he can't talk, he can talk to them, and they can talk to you. All it takes to be on YouTube is one of these. And if you go live tomorrow, if he's picked up at a bus stop again in front of his kid and you're filming it, you'll have 10 YouTubers spreading the word all over the world right after. They don't get it. A lot of police and court systems don't get. This has become a new thing that people follow along in all kinds of cases. You can see it in the Idaho 4 case. You can see it in so many cases. If a YouTuber gets on it, then another YouTuber will say, oh, they're getting numbers. Maybe I should try it and look into this case. Maybe it'll be good for my numbers. That's kind of the thing on YouTube. You'll go around and see, where are the numbers? I'm getting interested in that. But there's just so much light on Canton right now because there's so much going wrong in Canton right now. Yes, EDB. Well, I heard her talk about. I don't know if I've heard her talk about Aidan's case, but I know she's talked about Karen Reed's case, and she is a former prosecutor. She has retired, but and yes, she is the biggest law tuber, or whatever you'll call those of us who cover cases, true crime tubers, whatever it is. She is the absolute biggest, and her audience is between 20 and 30,000 people. If they go into recovery addicts chat and sit there and say, well, we think this, you can turn those 1,100 people in his chat to seeing it more your way. And then they can go into my chat where I have 500 people. And then the snowball keeps rolling, because whenever I turn on a stream about this, I get things I don't have. I have no, because again, I'm not a Karen Reed Turtle Boy channel. This week I covered a guy stabulating his wife 55 times. When I cover Turtle Boy, I get great numbers. If I cover Karen Reed, great numbers. I should do it more for the grift, but I'm stupid, so I don't do that. But you have so many people out there now, but they don't get it. They don't get the new world. Yeah, and EDB and Jackson used to be at the same office, which is funny. Two world. It's so is yeah. Investigative journalist in South Carolina basically knocked down the first domino that took down Alex Murdoch for his financial crimes. Yeah, and this is becoming more viable to have as a career, to say, okay, I want to go into citizen journalism. You can have your job at the ice cream factory, and then you can start looking into stuff and building up your journalism empire. Aidan is just a website, but he's just really good at finding stories. And you build a network. That's what I start doing on doing the Karen Reed. I reached out to the Young Jerks, Mark Bederow, Melvin Little, say, hey, you want to do a show together? Because now we know each other. We can call each other up or text each other, and maybe we can help each other out. You can do that if you want to go into some kind of journalism. You can break all the big stories, because you won't get the big stories in the New York Times or the Canton Gazette or whatever it is. I can't remember what billionaire I saw yesterday said, I get all my news on Twitter. Because there's so many eyes. If they get interested, they'll look into this person. They'll look into that person. They'll send a Birdsmore. I learned from the interweb before I ever heard about the privately hired ME, that there was something fishy in that trial. Because during the Karen Reed case, they said, hey, try looking at that. I tried looking at it and couldn't really see anything. Then I had Missy on, and she's been on it for such a long time. It's the internet has changed a lot of things, but it's not always for the better, because there's also a lot of grifting going on, and you need to sell the goods for your audience. Someone takes off their shirt, someone might make up a story. It's all good, but hey, Dawn. But independent and citizen journalists is our future. Yes. Megan Fox is now also covering Turtle Boy based on them trying to convict for 120 years. BD covered the last hearing phase fast too. I haven't. I was on Megan Fox. She didn't know the Karen Reed case, so she invited me on to tell her about it. So I'm very interested. So that's yeah. I don't know if they do what the DA's office is telling them, but modern journal, we can actually, I can see it in Denmark right now. You have an election going on. Everything the Danish television station reports is, if I watch CNN before I go to bed at night, I will see what the Danish news station will say the next morning. It's 1-to-1, just translated to Danish. Because journalists want to live near the big stations, because, oh my God, maybe I could be come on CNN or Fox or whatever it is. And we don't have any right-leaning TV stations in Denmark, so we don't have anyone translating Fox, but it's just, as I say, it's CNN a day later and in Danish. And that's just how they report from the US, because then they can stay in Washington and claim that they cover the US. That's how it is, sadly. But everyone, thank you all so much for joining me for this little shindig. I was looking, I thought that Melanie was having Mark on today, but I don't know what time it is. And I can't see it in my up and coming. But I know that I saw somewhere that Melanie was having Mark on. They're probably not going to talk about this because it's an ongoing case, but she's live now. I can't see her. That's why we lost 50 people all of a sudden. Maybe she hasn't got redirects. Yes, she is live right now. Maybe I can redirect. I'll try to redirect you all over to Melanie. If she has, yeah, she has redirects open. Cool. Everyone, go over to Melanie. Give her some muffins in the chat. And thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.